Welcome everyone to Fixing My Faith. We have an excellent show ahead of us today here. We're not quite at the Be Free protest, but we're almost there. What do we have? We only have a few more days left. It's the 21st and the 31st, 10 days, folks. We have 10 days to plan our trip to get to Be Free all the way down there if we have to hitchhike. I'm thinking of hitchhiking and seeing how, if I start pretty quick, that might be a way to do it. I'm way up here in Canada. So we plan to be live for the Be Free protest. We're going to open our channel up and we're going to throw out our hookup thing here. You just click onto it and you're live. You can show us. So anybody can come live for the whole protest. And we're going to open our channel up for the whole protest. Now, today we have an exciting guest on. He's in the backstage. You guys probably know him, Justin from ExJw Diaries. And I just want to pull up, I want to put this on the screen here. Where am I here? Right here. Maybe right here. Yeah. Maybe I'll go with this one. Now, I like to look at some of our creators out there. In ExJw Diaries, Justin here, he just started his channel a couple of years ago, and he's got 5,000 subscribers. He's doing lives. I looked at his first video. My wife and I sat down, and Justin, we watched your first video. Excellent video, excellent ability for creator. I was looking at how you do the pyramid thing, and you're very articulate. And you suffered some of the same problems I did when I was in and why I left. Discrimination. There's so much discrimination in this darn organization. And that's why we're going to Be Free. I'm going to throw Justin on the stage here. And we all get to meet Justin. So here's Justin. I'm going to throw up a little better picture of the both of us. There you are. So go ahead, say hi to everyone.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thank you so much for having me on. And thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate you guys.
Now, it's a great privilege for us. We've been following you on and off all along, and you have a heck of a journey. You were a ministerial servant. Your parents left before you left. That's what blew me away. And then they kind of said, hey, your parents left. You're a hero. We're going to make you a ministerial servant. Is that what kind of happened?
That's exactly what happened.
But yet you were discriminated for all those years. You sat there doing your very darn best. Like I did that for years. And if you're not recommended, if they look at you a little bit sideways, you're not recommended, especially if there's discrimination. In this case, it's lots of white people running the congregations. And then if you have a little bit of skin off, in my case, I have Indigenous blood. And as soon as I wanted to start working Indigenous territory and I come back with, they closed it all down. I walked away. I couldn't figure it out. But now, once we get out, we really see what this religion is about. And that's why we're going to the Be Free. Now, Justin, you've been doing a lot of work on Be Free. Let's talk about Be Free. I'm going to give you the stage now. How do I do that? I just get off the stage.
Okay. Yeah, so Be Free is an organized protest, a very peaceful, respectful, organized protest happening in Washington, D.C. on October 31st. So just like Vern said, it's only 10 days away. We're almost there. And we really want to stress, when you say that word protest, it kind of brings up certain images in your mind. And some of those images might be negative and just kind of craziness going on. That's not what this is at all. This is a very peaceful, respectful protest. And it has to be that way, not only because if it's not that way, it makes the Watchtower look good. They would love to see a bunch of XJWs mess things up. We're not going to give them that chance. So not only for that reason, but more importantly, for the reason of we are discussing some very, very, very important issues having to do with CSA, having to do with human rights, and again, this is in front of the White House. So it's got to be done right, and it's got to be respectful and in a tone that, would represent us in a good way.
Now, I was going to ask you, being on Halloween, okay, let's just go back. How long ago did you leave? When did you leave the religion? Was it 2 years when you started your channel, or was it before that?
Yeah, it was 2 years since I started the channel, but I left before that. I needed some time to heal. I didn't want to come out there as, in that stage of anger. I wanted to
Yeah.
come out when I had a chance to heal, and so I could speak in a more balanced way. I left. It was a staged leaving process. I woke up in early 2017. It was literally 2 months after giving my very first public talk. So I was on that way up. Ended up running into some things and woke up, and I spent that most of 2017 in that battle. I was still serving as a ministerial servant, but being PMO at the same time, and really
Mhm.
trying to battle and see, do I really want to leave? Is this really not the truth? What's going on here? And eventually I read a Crisis of Conscience and just kept seeing more and more things happen.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, it's very obvious. There are things going on here that I cannot be a part of this religion
Mhm.
anymore. And then, so, although I couldn't leave all the way because I was still working for a company that was owned by the witnesses, all the way up, the entire management hierarchy, and about 80 to 90% of the people working there were witnesses. So I had
Oh,
to, even though I was awake and I wasn't going to meetings at the end of 2017, I went to my last meeting. Even though I had gotten to that stage, I couldn't be all the way out for about another year, and then I ended up finding another job. So,
oh, good for you. Good for you. Now, I was going to ask you, when you were in, and that was right before the virus, were there other PMOs? Did you know any other PMOs in, or were you all alone, kind of in your own head?
yeah, I was all alone in that experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was during the time when there was Candace Conti case going on, the ARC was going on.
Mhm.
So every now and then you would kind of hear people talking about it, but you know how it is when you're PMO.
Yeah.
You may think somebody's on that same stage, but if you reveal yourself, you're going down.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, it really is a lonely experience, and that's why the ExJw community is so important.
Yeah, it is. Now, I was going to ask you. So now, so there wasn't a lot of PMOs. Now we're 2023. That's what 6 years later from when you started to wake up, 2017. 6 years later. Now, like I'm hearing on comments, I don't know what you're hearing, but people are leaving kind of in little groups. Like they're not alone anymore. Do you notice that? It's
Yeah,
different.
yeah, I've seen more of that,
Yeah.
which is
So
very
now
good.
with more PMOs, we had comments where a bunch were saying, one comment was, "Hey, there's a whole bunch of us. We don't donate no more. We're going to break them from the inside. We don't donate." So, and then the governing body comes up and says, "Yeah, well, we got to get more money. For those of you that are quite not donating." They had that one thing, in that 2023 annual. But getting back to the PMO, if there's PMOs leaving in groups, what do you think about the Halloween? If they want to dress up, maybe they don't want to be seen or recognized. Maybe they want to put it some kind of how business parties. Now, this isn't Halloween. This is before Halloween. This is all about business. But on Halloween day, many companies, they dress up. You go to work that day and you're dressed up somewhat, right? Now, do you think some of the PMOs might want to do that? Is
Yeah,
that
that's
is
one of
that
the
allowed?
yeah, that's one of the benefits of having it on Halloween. Is that, yeah, if you're a PMO and you do want to come to this event, you do have that option to disguise yourself to protect your identity, and that's
Mhm.
that's really important because most of the time with these type of activist events, if you're a PMO, you're on the sidelines. You just got to watch. But with
Yeah,
this, you can wear something,
get
even just a
involved.
regular face mask if you want to,
Yeah,
and you
you
can
could you
protect your
could wear a
identity.
virus mask.
Hmm.
The masks we wore for viruses. You could wear something like that, paint something on it. This could be very simple. People don't have to spend money. And you could put a hat on, and put some sunglasses on, and that virus mask, and put some kind of a thing on there, paint your message, and you're done. And then it's going to help you not to get a disease while you're in amongst people. Anyways, I think this is great. Now, when are you leaving, Justin? Are you going down there, right?
I'll yeah, I'll be there the day before, and then I'll stay there another day after. I've never been out there before, so I'm gonna tour around a little
How
bit the day
far of
after.
a how far of a commute is it for you? to get to
It's a
there?
5-hour flight. Yeah, I'm coming from the
5
Seattle area,
hours.
so it's all the way on the other side of the country. But
You live in
yeah,
Seattle area, really? Like where
yeah.
Fraser is? Fraser Crane?
I don't know. I
It's
don't
old.
know.
That's an old show.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
aging
okay.
myself. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
TV show. He's not in the
Okay.
congregation. Anyways, we're watching Fraser Crane on the side.
Oh,
Seattle. He says, "Welcome, Seattle." It's supposed to be a very beautiful city.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now,
That's pretty nice.
I got corrected here. I got to get back on course here. Now, so you're leaving, you're flying down there, and you're going to be there on site. And have you built a little network up? Do you have people going to meet you there?
Yeah, we should have quite a bit of people coming. I mean,
Good
I
for
know there's some
you.
other activists coming, and yeah. So we'll
Yeah,
it's probably a little bit too early to talk about it right now, but we'll have something after the event too,
yeah.
where people can come and meet up. So
Now, I have to say, unfortunately, my wife and I we cannot come. We have to get passports, and then when you get your passport, you got to tell them what you're going for. And when you tell them you're going for a U.S. protest, well, can I go to the consulate if I have trouble? You better stay home, buddy. So this is really the U.S. that can really do this freely. When we're out of country like this, it does pose a bit of problems if something happens. You always got to think about something happening. But when you're in the U.S., this is your home turf. You have a right to have a voice, and this is a proper place to do it. This is a good place. This is an excellent place. It's a licensed protest. Now, you were talking about the police. Could you reiterate the police thing? Homeland Security there?
Yeah, so just to have a protest in front of the White House like that, you got to have permits from Homeland Security for it to be a legal protest in that way. So Homeland Security will be on site to make sure things go according to plan. We'll also have our own people, part of the group, that will help with crowd control and making sure everybody behaves themselves. And then we'll have, of course, firefighters and medical there just in case there's any emergencies. So it's definitely organized to keep everybody safe and to keep everybody in line. So.
And not that anything's going to go wrong. It's an amicable protest. This happens every day. Like, I don't know, probably happens a lot at the White House. Would you say it happens every day almost, or often?
I'm sure it probably happens pretty often. Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a big thing. The news is going to probably be there, right? The news media, and they're going to wonder what's happening. This is the first time that I've seen ExJWs get together on this large of a scale because of the shunning, right? And because how do you do this stuff? And a lot of people are inside the congregation managing and helping out with this. We could look at the BeFree site here. I have it ready to pull up. Let's see here. Where is it? There it is. Oh no, there. I have to get out of your screen. Is there anything on your screen before we're done that you'd like to point out to the audience while we're here? Any videos you've done recently that you think are? Now, I watched the last two videos. The BeFree one, of course, you did, and then Escaping Dogma. We watched this interview that you did here, Finding Freedom After the Watchtower. That was interesting. And how that lady was sucked in. She was sucked in the same way I was. But anyways, it's interesting. I think you're doing a really nice job, Justin.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I'm going to present the BeFree site now, and it's right here. There we go. Now, BeFree, just for everyone's knowledge, it's all you have to do is go BeFree2023.com in your browser, and it comes up. It's that simple. So on the BeFree site, they have everything. You can, everything about this, the time, the dates, the license. Now they have a submit. Yes, I'll be there. And sorry, can't make it. So then you could submit that. So I'm going to put that in and submit it. Sorry, I can't make it. So now it is of utmost importance to put an end to any policies, practices. So we talked about that. You talked about that in your last video. Really what this is about is raising an awareness towards what, Justin? How would you put it? You put it nicely.
there's really two main issues. It's raising, and before I even go into that, let me just say real quick, this event is not only about the Watchtower. It's not about bashing the Watchtower. We're going above religion here. It's not just, yes, it is an ExJw protest. Yes, we are, as an ExJw group, representing these issues because these issues are prevalent in the Watchtower organization. But we got to remember, these issues are also prevalent in other religious groups and non-religious groups. So it's us coming together from the ExJw community, representing for everybody, because we can't, if we only want to protect our people, we're just as bad as the Watchtower.
Yeah, we're bad.
So
yeah.
these issues affects more than just ExJWs, more than just people in the Watchtower. So we got to use our voice to help everybody. But now that I said that, the main two issues is, number one, the shunning. Again, we're out here trying to fight for people's human rights. When the Watchtower says you must believe what we tell you to believe, you cannot disagree with anything, or else we own your family, through this shunning rule, that's a violation of human rights. You tell me that I can't change my beliefs?
Yeah.
That's insane. And it's not just about family. As in my case, I had to risk losing my job possibly. There's people that have gotten kicked out, from renting from witnesses. I mean, this can affect you all different ways just from you deciding that you just want to believe something else. That's it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, which is a very big case, is of course the CSA issue. The fact that the Watchtower, and that's kind of multifaceted too, because you have the two witness rule for one thing, which means that if there's not two witnesses, that person who was abused has no voice. That case will not be taken seriously. And then the other issue is the fact that there's not mandatory reporting in every state. So this means that even when there is the two witnesses, even when it is a known thing that has happened, they have the proof of it, the person that admits to it possibly, in most cases, they're just going to get disfellowshipped. And in some cases, they might just get privately reproved. But what's not going to happen, but what's not going to happen is they're not going to be reported to the police 9 times out of 10.
And there's no public
and we got to
announcement.
stop that. And that's, very good point. So we have to protect the children that are within the organization, and we also need to protect the children that are on the outside of the organization.
Yeah, going door to door when you have those issues, and there's not the proper healing within the congregation. These are not doctors and elders, and I can see, I don't know with this new annual meeting, but I can see where maybe some of this might go away. It's hard to see. That's yet to be determined. Are they going to beat the Norway court case? I don't think so. I don't think you can shut an organization down from shunning that quick. I don't think so. It's going to be interesting. These next few months of the organization, they're bleeding right now. Look at they've been chasing a lot of you guys in the US because the privacy laws are different than here in Canada on broadcasting those annual meetings. A lot of the creators are nervous about even running any of that because they get a copyright strike. But yet here in Canada, we run the whole damn thing, everything, right in their faces, and they can't touch us. Why? You see, there's different rules in every country, and we started looking into that. So we have to figure out the rules in our country as individuals, and that's what we are as creators, educating all the ExJWs coming out. And the first thing you want to do is file a police report. Like in Canada here, it's so easy. If you guys want to know, email my good wife. We have the RCMP number. It goes right to head office, and then they assign it. They log it. They give you a police number, and then they send it over to your jurisdiction, especially if you're aware of hidden CSA. If you're aware of it, you throw that in. You file if you're shunned, you feel like you're slandered, file it. Like it doesn't cost us anything to file with the police departments. Now, if you want to pursue civil charges, you see, we're going after criminal because obstructing justice is criminal. It's a crime. This is a national syndicate, national religion that's working like a crime, covering up crimes. It's like a crime cover-up syndicate in the government's eyes because it's costing the U.S. government $258 billion a year for child abuse, all the way through when they look at re-educating and therapy and all those things. It's serious business, and we have to shut it down. We have to stop it. And this is a way of everyone coming to this protest. Non-Jehovah's Witnesses, like you don't have to be an anybody that's against child abuse. Everybody out there, that's what we're advertising for, right? If I'm hearing this right, this isn't just for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, but it gives them an opportunity, a platform for their voice to be heard. And that's so important in healing. Now, go ahead. I talked a lot.
Oh no, yeah, you got it. You got it. That's exactly what it's about. It's about helping people out. That's why it says on the brochure for the event that this is about love of humanity. And that may sound like such a cliche thing to say, something that you might read off a postcard or something, but when you really think about it, that really is what it's about. We don't care about religion here. People are going to believe what they want to believe. We're here to protect and speak for the people that cannot speak for themselves. And especially when you have issues, like you were saying, in your country, it's very easy to file a police report. But there are some cases where, especially in CSA, these people have been told by their elders, don't file a police report because it makes the organization look bad. And then those people go ahead and they file it anyways, and they get disfellowshipped. So can you imagine going through all that trauma of being an abuse victim, and then you seek justice and you get disfellowshipped for it? And in some cases, their person's own family is siding on the side of the watchtower when they go to get. I mean, they have these people's heads so twisted up,
They do.
and with so much unquestionable loyalty to a corporation, so we gotta allow these people to be able to, or we have to speak for these people who are not able to speak for themselves. That's just to say, yeah.
So signage here, you talked about that in your last video a bit. Now it says here right on the website to give some ideas on signing, no use of profanity. This is a secular, non-religious protest. And children have the right to do their own research. These are some good points. You want to cover any of these points? Maybe you had a part in putting these points in here. I'm not sure.
Oh no, yeah, no, I can't take credit for that. No, this is the person that's organizing the event. But yeah, these are all great things that need to be on boards, and they really send our message. That's the most important thing. They send the reason why we are there. And as I said on the top, the reason that these are there, that they're recommended, is because again, this has to be done right. This has to be done in a respectful way, and in a way that really gives respect to victims that are out there and people that are being shunned, people that have, unfortunately taken their own lives due to shunning. We have to show respect to all those people. So the signage has to be respectful too.
Now, it says no one should be made to choose between his belief and his family. Now, you were put in that position, weren't you? When your family quit and you were a ministerial servant?
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you have to shun them? You had to shun your mom and dad?
Luckily, no, because they were inactive. So they didn't get disfellowshipped or anything. But there was still this push to distance myself from them.
Yeah.
So
interesting. So that's a huge one, I think, for a lot of us. CSA is not a secret. Contact the police. Shunning is a form of bullying. Bullying is hate. Choose love, hate. Choose love, not hate or fear. These are just ideas, folks, for your signs. Don't hate whistleblowers. Watchtower, stop victim shaming. There's a lot of good, there's a whole list that just goes on and on. So we want you, the folks, to go to the site, BeFree site, if you're going, and really look at some of the stuff that's in there. Is there anything in particular on this site, Justin, that you would like me to open?
Let's see. I mean, the signage was definitely important.
Documents. Let's see what's in the document section. Financial documents.
Oh yeah, those are definitely important. And a lot of this stuff is proof.
Watchtower stuff, right? Let's just open this first one and see what they have here. They've done a lot of research on this site.
And it's important that these documents are on there, because the Watchtower always says everything that we say is apostate lies. But this is, you have legal proof, legal documents. We're not lying at all.
The book value of this asset is 1.5, almost 1.6 million. This particular asset. I think this is that stock market that that Henrietta fund, and this is proof that they have investment into the stock market that has military weapons. That's what this is. I looked at some of that, but they have all kinds of stuff on this site to give you, to show people beyond any shadow of a doubt why you need to quit. This is not a religion. This is not a, well, all religions kind of do this, you know. I'm not against, but sorry, I got to be careful that I don't project that image, because there's a lot of good religious people out there that might be at this protest. They're good people and that are against it. Maybe in their religion they don't do this stuff. There's a lot of religions that are good religions out there. We were just in the watchtower and brainwashed to think that ours was the only one. That's the problem. Now, they have a lot of testimonies on here. The top 10 cults, there's digital invites here. We're already past that kind of protest tips. There's a good one. I think those are good protest tips. Now, the nice thing is it's going to be light longer there in the West Coast. Now, tips before going, it says create multiple signs. Having extra signs might help others. You know, you might want to lend one to someone that's beside you. So if you have that ability, you know, you can create a few signs. They have all the themes there. Using a foam board or a Magnum Sharpies is a good option. You can make your own signs. You guys don't have to spend a lot of money on this, or any money really. Stay hydrated, number 2. That's a good thing, right? So bring some drinking water and prepare an exit strategy. So if you're driving, it's like going to a big assembly. You know, you got to remember where you park your car. You know, how many assemblies have you went to and you forget where you parked your car? Because you come late here. I always had a family and I couldn't come early, so they'd stick us way over in this parking lot. I don't know, on the other side of town. You'd have to take an LRT to get there. And yeah, you want to know where you park your car. Inform a friend. Now, they talk about informing a friend. What have you know about that? You're bringing a few friends, right, Justin?
Not anybody from my area, but there's definitely people that I know that are going though. Yeah.
Now, you're being that here's this becomes a little bit dicey. Sometimes we're alone when we wake up and we want to go, and maybe we don't have a lot of friends we can talk to. So maybe, I don't know. What do you recommend, Justin? Online, maybe through these chat lines we open up?
Yeah, do that. And I guarantee if you go, we are a group of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. We're all there fighting for the same cause. I guarantee you there, if you go there, you're going to make some new friends for sure. Yes. And if you come to me, I will be your friend. I promise you.
Good.
So
I love that.
You got at least one. You got at least one there.
I love it. Okay, so you're going to meet friends. Number 5, write an emergency contact number on your body. Did you know about that one? Take a big
these are all just general.
To write a cell number on your arm or something. I guess you know, some of these protests are pretty violent. Maybe this isn't a violent protest.
No. These are just general rules for protests. But yeah, a lot of these you're not going to have to worry about, because that's not the tune that we're going in there with. We're like I said, we're going in there with the tune of respect and peace. This is more so the fact that we're out there in the open. I wouldn't imagine we would have any counter protests from any witnesses, and even if we did, they would be peaceful as well. So even if we had a counter, it would still be peaceful. You would hope that's how they're trained to be.
Everyone's against the same stuff we're against. Jehovah's Witnesses are. They're against child abuse. They're against this. They just don't know about it.
Yeah,
that's a problem. They are against shunning to a certain extent. It's like I was in it. I was against shunning. I was in it. I actually wrote letters to schools. Anyways, the next one, fully charge your cell phone. And maybe if you have another battery, bring a battery, extra battery. Especially if you want to hook up to us online. Justin, are you opening your channel up for live? You're doing a live?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there'll be a live.
You're hosting this, so there'll be a few of us hosting this. We get the more publicity, the better. And during the protest, attend the protest with a friend, or make a friend at the event. And make sure you have contact information for each other's family or friends in case of injury, arrest, or loss of contact. And keep an eye on one another and look out for each other's safety. It's important to have a trusted companion to watch your back, vice versa. So I think that's really good. It says bring an external phone battery if you have one. Wear comfortable shoes. So we're used to that as JWs, you know, walking around ministry. We know all about this. Now it says bring and wear a mask to cover your face. And this can be a bandana, scarf, or any other similar item. This is to protect yourself from being identified by police or opposition groups. You see, there could be opposition groups there, Bitter Winter or something, who may be filming the protest, right? So something to consider. Covering half of your face should be sufficient. And be careful when filming or streaming. This is what I think we have to be careful with. The protest, not to capture the faces of fellow protesters. So how do you do that, Justin? Any ideas?
Yeah, I think, well, first, for starters, it would be if you are someone who's PMO that's coming, or someone, even if you're not PMO and you just don't want to be out there in that way, definitely wear a face covering of some sort to make sure that, you know, because on our end, you know, we can control where the camera is facing to try to avoid you. But if the media does show up there, they're just going to capture the whole group. So if you don't want to be on camera, yeah, definitely wear a face covering. Yeah, but on our side, you know, I'll try my best to keep it on the people that are speaking, and yeah.
I wonder if StreamYard and that have features where it can blur faces automatically. Do you know, for us creators? Do you know a lot about that?
You know, I'm not sure if they have that, and if they, I don't know if they have it live. I don't know.
We can always go voice only too. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey.
Oh, my good wife's on. What's that, hon?
We can always go voice only too. Just take the images right out of it. So that's a quick and dirty way. If you want to share a little bit of what's going on and you don't want your face out there, don't show your face on your device.
Yeah.
You guys have the control.
But
so
I think at a protest, no one could hold you. Oh, well, you live stream me where? At the protest. Like, who's going to hold you liable for anything? Like, we're just live streaming, right? Are we guilty for live streaming if we don't blur their faces? Like, they should cover their faces, I think, if they don't want us.
It is a public event, so you don't really have a right to privacy. They could argue that. So just if you don't want to be seen, cover or don't show it.
Yep. Right on. So after the protest, so be careful when filming. So we talked about that. Now, after the protest, seek help if you feel unsafe or unwell. Reach out to your community, fellow protesters, friends, or families for support, and do not feel pressured to handle any difficult situations alone. Number 13, follow up with the organizers or other protesters to discuss next steps. And a protest is often just a step in a larger process, so it's important to check in and see if there's any immediate actions that need to be taken. Keep informed and involved in the cause. And the last point here is share your experience with others to help amplify the message of the protest and inspire others to get involved. And you can share your thoughts through a blog post, social media update, or by talking to friends and family. And the more people who hear about the protest and the issues it addresses, the more impact it can have. Let them be free. Really nice job on that, BeFree. So anything else you want to add to those points, the protest tips, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those tips were kind of worst case scenario, but still good safety tips. But yeah, don't be scared. This is this is a peaceful protest. It's going to be respectful, and the tone is going to be kept in line with the issues that we're speaking about. You know, which is again the shunning issue, CSA, human rights. This is not a big angry thing. You know, we're coming out here to speak in much the same tone that we're speaking right now. Yeah. So don't go by what the kind of examples you see on TV. That's not what this is at all.
Now we have a comment on the screen there. Desperanto. We have been making promotion of the BeFree2023 protest in our website and channel on behalf of the Spanish speaking communities. So you speak Spanish, Justin?
No, huh?
Do you have are you multilingual or just English?
Yeah, just
English?
English. Yeah. Hmm.
My good wife speaks a little French,
Oh, nice.
but that's just part of Canada that does that. Elora, hi, Justin, Ingram. Hello, everyone. I'm right outside of DC. We'll be there. Hope to see everyone. Now, I wanted to ask you, Justin, how many people can be in front of the White House at any given time?
Yeah, if you actually go on the permits thing, it'll show we have permit. The permit is written. We can have up to 1,000 people, and when we actually
Yeah,
talked to
1,000.
the Homeland Security, they said you can have even more, several thousands, as long as they can comfortably fit in that area. So really,
Nice.
the more the merrier. Yeah, the bigger crowd we get,
So
the harder it is to ignore, and the more chance we have at catching media attention.
it actually sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. Beverly Harward, wishing a successful trip event to all attendees. I'll watch. Stay safe, peeps. Thank you, Beverly, and you're a great supporter on our channel. We really appreciate you. Tibbles, looking forward to the 31st, planning on being there. Great news. So what else do we want to look at? Emergency hotlines, must watch. How do I know I'm in a cult? Why protesting makes a difference. That might be something to look at. Why protesting makes a difference? Because if you go onto the JW.org site, and I've done this, they try to say protest, they don't protest, and they're not into protesting, but they are. Big time. What do you think those carts are? Isn't that about protesting, standing on the street corners in the synagogue saying, look at me, how righteous I am? That's the only thing with street work. When I used to do it, we used to not show anything. We used to walk we used to walk with the flow of traffic down a sidewalk when I was doing street work in the olden days. And we would approach people. We found they'd stop and, hey, how you doing? Hey, yeah, got a magazine here. You want to read it? It was all about magazine placements. That's all it is. It's just we were literature salespeople for the Watchtower. That's all we were when you look at it. And that's what they're doing today. That annual meeting was all a big sales pitch. And it's all gone video, brochure to video. And it's a big sales pitch. So easy to break it apart, but it takes a while to get there to break it apart. There was a time I couldn't look at their videos. I couldn't go onto their site. It made me sick. Made me anxious. I had anxiety. And once you fully wake up and get out like you are right now, I hope I'm there. We don't get as angry as much. We can laugh a little bit more. We realize the bigger picture. There's a lot out there. We're on this side of the fence. There's a lot of religions that are having issues with this. This isn't just the JWs, but the JWs are the biggest in the news in the worst way, in my opinion. But let's talk about this for a bit. Do you have any other points, Justin, before we get into what makes a protest different?
I just had something and it went away.
Okay, well, I'll run with this. And just jump in anytime you want. There's no rules here. Why protesting makes a difference? Protests have proven to be an invaluable means of speaking truth to those in positions of power. Let's just think about that. Folks, we can do all the crying and whining we want online, but we're not doing it to the right place. We're not doing it to the place where we're going to make a difference. And I think this protest, I know this protest is worrying the Watchtower. They're worried. They're worried about this protest. This annual meeting, this is a different religion, this whole annual meeting. Come November 6th, when they roll their annual meeting out, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But this protest is going to it's making them think. They already know they have problems. But now the ExJWs are actually collaborating. That worries them. So
they don't want that. They want to separate it. They want you coming out feeling like you're alone. But as soon as we figure out that when we gather our voices together, we can't be silenced, this is when stuff like this can happen. So
yeah,
you got to keep working together.
If they wouldn't have harped on their darn annual meeting, we wouldn't have ran all those programs. It's because they get involved and start shutting people down, and then we all say, okay, you're gonna have to shut us all down then. And that's hard in all countries. They can't do that. So this is what they're learning. We are collaborating. And if Africa's having problem, when Japan has problems, we'll be there for them. Everywhere. There's no boundaries online. We're here together. So here's what it does. Protests have proven to be an invaluable means of speaking truth to those in positions of power, to our governments, the ones that can really make change. And if we do believe in the Bible says at Romans 13:1, the government authorities, they would take care of things when it came to bad things, and we should listen to them. It's very clear, when you get outside, it's very clear that all of these religions should be listening to the governments, because the Bible says that, if you want to believe the Bible. Now, it says in the next sentence, they have served as these are protests. The protests have served as the driving force behind some of the most impactful social movements throughout history, uncovering instances of injustice and abuse, holding individuals accountable, and inspiring hope for a brighter future. And that's what we're doing. It's the children of tomorrow that we're thinking about. We have to think about our children of tomorrow, or we won't have a tomorrow. And I think the whole earth is on the same page. We're all working on that. Now, here's 6 reasons why protests are important for democracy. This is from Open Democracy, Free Thinking for the World. Would you like to receive notifications? Not yet. Why is protests so fundamental for human rights and democratic society? Here's 6 reasons why. Let's take a look at them. International Women's Day, Los Angeles. So number 1, people realize they are not alone. Now, one way in which the established maintains its power is by creating a dominant discourse from which dissidents' view are excluded. If people think differently, they may feel isolated, marginalized, and powerless. Public demonstrations and marches empower people by showing them that there are thousands of people who think the same. I can see that with our ExJw community, because we're coming out alone, we're waking up alone, and we don't want to talk about it. We're afraid to talk about it because we get shunned. So therefore, nothing ever gets done, right? It's hard to do it all alone. So people realize they're not alone. This is what this is going to do for us. It's already done it. You can see it all across all the channels. Now, number 2, by protesting, we alter the agenda and start a debate. And that's what we have to do. It's like Martin Luther nailing down his 99 theses on the wall, except we only have 3. It's not that hard. And what we're asking for, the whole world's asking for. We're not asking for something that's different. We just want this religion to notice it. But they seem to say we don't have to apologize, because if we're going to change, the light's getting brighter. It's not us. It's Jehovah had us doing it wrong. They put Jehovah under the bus. You notice that? So yeah. I don't know if they're going to lose members over that, but time will tell, right? Now, number 2, by protesting, we alter the agenda and start a debate. So we talked about that. Number 3, in an electoral democracy, protests provide an essential voice for minority groups. And that's certainly what we are. How many ex-Jehovah's Witnesses do you estimate there are out there?
Oh, well, I mean, just on the Reddit group alone, you have, geez, I think we were up into the 9, over the, man, I think it's like 95,000. It might be over that now. Yeah, it's getting up there. And then that's just on Reddit. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, in other countries.
I bet you there's a million at least out there. But because a lot of people aren't on the internet.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hard to believe that, but there's a lot that don't search this stuff. They get out and they run from it, and they just keep running. They don't fix it. It doesn't get fixed, because I was one of those people. And I ran for 10 years, didn't fix it. In fact, 10 years later, I was turning Bible studies over to brothers.
Wow.
Why would I do that? And then they shunned me. Then they told my friends, don't ever talk to that guy again. And that's what woke me up. When you get slapped, you wake up hard. Yeah. So number 3, protest provides an essential voice for minority groups. That's who we are. Number 4, sometimes we win. So I think the Watchtower is making changes, and I really think it's Norway. They're going to lose charity benefits, millions of dollars. And if you lose in one country, you're going to start losing dominoes. It'll domino all over the world, right? They have to do something now. And that's what I see. It's all about money. That's why, it's a business. It's not about God. Not about, well, they're admitting it now. We're not inspired. We're fallible. We make mistakes, even in doctrine. These guys are just flip-flopping, like a fish out of the sea. They're flip-flopping. Now, I think we're winning, not just sometimes. Number 5, sometimes we win in a way we had not intended or planned. And that's what I see happening here. This could, what we're doing could be making a big dent in the Watchtower right now. Political events are unpredictable. The protests against nuclear cruise missiles in Greenham Common in UK in the 1980s appeared to have failed when the missiles were installed, but the protests had forced the US and UK governments into saying they had to deploy the missiles only because the Soviet Union was doing the same. So that's talking about some of the missile stuff. So there's been protests, well, throughout the history of our countries, protests. 6, sometimes we win, but it takes a generation or more. And that could be the case here. What do you think, Justin?
I think that there's enough united voices on these subjects, at least when it comes to the CSA subject and our request to require mandatory reporting in all 50 states. I think that's something that enough people are fighting for, that we can get that passed relatively soon.
This might happen this year.
I mean, who knows? Yeah, it's certainly
could
possible.
stop this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I think the shutting might be
harder
harder to fight, but I think that's fightable too. When you bring it up into the human rights stage, yeah, that's something that we can fight as well.
You know what I think this organization is gearing up for? They want to be a movie production company. They want everyone to pay 10% tithing plus more, a little more than tithing. They want to be better than the Mormons. They're going to build a better movie studio. And they want to be a separate company, and they want all these they're going to bleed all the property out of everyone. They're going to sell everything and then make everybody build new calls and run their own show. Or maybe they'll manage it. Who knows? They'll keep selling property. They're a big property company. And then they're going to say, okay, you guys run your congregations, but as long as they're administering that elder book, are they not, that secret elder book, does that not hold them liable? It's a link to them. They got to get rid of their secret elder book and say, here's the Bible. Get rid of the bound volumes and say, here's the Bible. I don't think they're willing to do that.
No, the Bible is too open for interpretation, and they need to keep producing their own literature. That way they can force their interpretations and their rules and their control on all their members. So it's got to be their own publishing.
I could see them saying, okay, well, you should shun, but it's conscientious. You shouldn't take blood, but it's conscientious. And how they're going to handle the 2-witness rule, I think they'll say, just turn it all over to the police. Anytime it happens, just turn. They make those 3 steps. They can check the box in Norway. You know, they don't have to make a lot of changes, really. Simon B. Hello, beautiful people. Salute from Italy. I'm going to be with you in spirit. Thank you. We need all the support we can get. Gianna Jewell, thank you, Vern and Justin, for this show. You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
We love doing what we do. You love doing what you're doing, Justin?
Oh yeah, and it's needed. Yeah, this is the same way that I was helped, because when you're leaving this organization, I don't know if it was the same for you, but you can go through some very dark times when you're going through that process of leaving and just realizing that everything you believed in, this whole thing that was your entire world, was inaccurate. I mean, it can really take you down. So it's very important, I think, what we're doing to help people to do this process of waking up and helping them feel that they're not alone.
Yeah. I think it's important if they can get on these lives, any of the lives. There's a lot of good people on the lives, really care for people, and they're good. There's trolls. The people in the lives take care of the trolls, but I find the trolls are getting less and less. I think people are realizing, this is real stuff. This is happening. Mm-hmm. Just got to get out. We got to accept some of it and move forward. So sometimes we win. It takes a generation. I think the generation's already been, like you think of the Crisis of Conscience. Ray Franz wrote that book. Penton wrote a book up here in Alberta, where I'm from. You remember him? There's a lot of books. Barbara Anderson. These are some people that have been in the organization deeply, and they know, and they're so that was all. This work has already been done, and it's still doing its work. So now there's this new zeal online. There's all these new creators, some really good creators, and helping out to get the word and building a community so people have somewhere to go.
Yes.
You know, they're used to going to meetings, you know, 3-4 times a week. So they're used to going out in service, out in the ministry. So now they can go online. They don't have to, you know, there's no discrimination at all. And they can get to know people. And now there's meetups. Joe and Fran and you are building meetups while you're going across meeting people. And yeah, I think it's just going to keep growing, this whole community. And these lives, these communities are so important for everyone. So I think we're in the generation where we're going to make a difference. We might be in the year, the pivotal year that the organization flip-flops so they can check a box in Norway. I think we might be in that year.
Read the
Comments. What issues will protesters tell the media about? That's a good one. So what would you take the floor there, Justin? What issues would you tell the media about?
Yeah, the two main issues that I mentioned at the beginning, it's number one is the shunning, the fact that violates people's human rights. You are forcing somebody to believe your doctrine. You're forcing somebody to stay in your religion. Remember, in this country, we have freedom of religion. The Watchtower is saying you must stay in our religion or else we take away your family. Some people, like in my position, your job is at risk. People have been kicked out of their homes. I mean, there's all these repercussions if you leave our religion. So that's the number one thing. And not to mention the shunning rule. I mean, you are isolating someone in a way that is inhumane. You know, there was actually a study done that when you experience a high level of isolation, it is so damaging to your mind that it actually raises your chances of Alzheimer's. So there's something in our head that happens when you are isolated to such an extent of that. And that right there just shows, you know, they call this loving discipline from Jehovah. Well, if Jehovah made the human brain, if that's what you're saying, that he designed this human brain in such a way, then how can you say it's loving discipline if our brain is literally not made to be in isolation in that way when you shun someone like that? So that's a whole nother subject. But the number two thing that we're there for is of course the CSA issue. When you oh no, you get it. When somebody does this horrible act of abusing a child in that way within the Jehovah's Witnesses organization, number one, if there's not two witnesses, the person who was abused, they're not going to be heard at all. They don't have any voice. And even if there is two witnesses, the abuser is not always reported to authorities, which means that they can continue to go free. You know, they get disfellowshipped, maybe they get reproved, but they're not going to jail, which means that they're not having to register as a sex offender, which is something that's required for all known offenders in that way in this country. You have to register as a sex offender when you get out of jail. And once you register, you are blocked from being a teacher, working in a daycare, things of that nature. They put up all these walls to make sure that it's harder for you to hurt another child in that way. But in the case of a witness, they're never going to jail, which means that they never have to register as a sex offender, which means that not only do they continue being a danger for kids within the congregation, they can also be a danger for kids out here in the real world, because that person can continue working as a teacher. They can work in a daycare. They can go use public swimming pools, things that people that are registered sex offenders cannot do. These people who are witnesses who committed the exact same crime, they can, you know, the rules don't apply to them. So that makes no sense. And that loophole has to be closed. And that's what we're out there to do. And that's probably the big message that we're sending out there to the media. That loophole has to be closed. And again, this isn't more than just the witnesses. So we want to get that loophole closed in every single religion and non-religious organization to protect children everywhere.
I think if I had a chance to meet with the news, I would talk like you're talking about the shunning. And I don't think, you know, people think shunning and news people think yeah, the Hutterites, the Mennonites, everyone shuns, religion shun, Catholics excommunicate, and they kind of brush it off. But the shunning that goes on in the Jehovah's Witness community is solitary confinement. We don't even subject our prisoners to that kind of shunning in prison. They get to come out and mingle with the inmates usually once a day when they're in solitary confinement, because they realize it's torture, and they realize that it's cruelty to the prisoners. But yet, in this JW organization, we are shunned for life. Your kids are told to hate you. That's just not right. And I think that's what I tell. It's just really, really bad, the shunning. And there's brain damage, suicides. Like, we come out with PSTD, complex version, PTSD, post-traumatic stress. We all have it. And we're all edgy, and you get angry easy, when you get out. It takes time. It takes years to heal from this religion, all over shunning. And they'll throw it out. They'll make it conscientious. It's new light. Jehovah gave us new light, so we are not going to apologize. You see, in Australia and New Zealand, all the victims want us an apology. I don't know that they're going to do that, because now when they apologize, they open themselves up for liability. I'm sorry. Okay, well, what do you say? Well, I did something wrong. Okay, well, we're going to sue the hell out of you. You see, once you apologize, you're going to get sued. It's all business. Yeah. And they're using the Bible to promote business.
Even just acknowledge that it's an issue. That was one of the big things when I was going through that back and forth process during my waking up process. I was watching that ARC case very closely. And even during the times when I would be leaning more towards, because some people, you do have to go through that fight. And there's times when you're leaning more towards, well, maybe it's easier just to stay. Maybe, what does they say? It's a perfect organization ran by imperfect man. So maybe Jehovah will fix this. That was always the hope that I had during those earlier stages of waking up. And I remember at the end of the ARC, they were looking at the Mormons, the Catholics, there's all these other religions that they were investigating during that time. And every one of them, those other religions, they either apologized or they at least acknowledged the issue, except for the witnesses. Witnesses, there was no response. I thought that was the most unloving thing I had ever seen, because they showed proven cases where thousands, and you got to remember, the witnesses were probably the smallest group out of all the groups that they investigated in that ARC. And yet they had some of the most people, so it shows there's a big issue there. And they had no response to it. No apology, no acknowledgement. Jeez, I can't believe it.
I was doing, Matt Haverstick is the Catholic diocese lawyer in the state of Pennsylvania. And they started using Matt Haverstick publicly. It's in the papers. That's who JWs are using in the state of Pennsylvania. And he came out publicly and said all the Catholics apologized, and the Jehovah's Witnesses are going to have to apologize. But it looks like on their annual meeting, they're not going to apologize. This is Jehovah's fault. They threw Jehovah under the bus. GG4B did a good video on that, how they threw him under the bus. And he really highlighted that. And I think everyone in the community realizes this. We're advertising it. And I don't know, if you go on the internet and listen to us guys, you won't. Why would you stay in the religion? It's just not a religion. It's a business. If you want to support a business, go buy into the stock market and take your risks that way. Yeah. Okay. ExJw MJ in context. He says, I wonder if us YouTubers will be in one location or dispersed in the crowd. Never been to the White House. I'm going to need to hold someone's hand. So there you go. ExJw MJ in context. You guys can team up, and maybe you guys can be the leaders there. You'll be the, because people know you, right? Online, and this is how you're going to get known, and you're going to help people. You guys will be the instruments that BeFree will use. So that's great. 2 people are going to be there. So it'll all come natural. You can live stream. You can live stream your channel, ExJw. Yeah, we can actually link live streams in channel to channel. You can have one live stream, and we can just link channels in. My good wife was telling me that. I don't know how to do that, but we can do it. We might as well, right?
Yeah.
And and work together and get this all across the world. Goat Like wants to, anybody out there can live stream in. We could open up and do that, couldn't we? And you could have a couple cameras, someone that's really good with their camera, and live stream the whole thing.
Yep.
Did my wife want to say something? I hear her in the background sometimes, but she's got to come onto the video, and then we can hear her. Now, Tammy G says, the more we let our voices, I'll let my good wife put those up. So Desperado, this event will be covered by the news worldwide on this situation of international turmoil. And in front of the White House, of course, it will bring out much noise. This will be the first time ever in front of the White House, I think, for ExJWs.
Yep. Yeah, it's historic. Yeah, it's historic. It's a very, very big event. Yeah.
Huge. I think it's great. This is how we make change. We use our voices and we tell our stories. And we focus in on those 3 points. The 3 points, the 99 theses on the wall, 3 points. I know there's more points. I wrote 9 measures. I figure they have 9 measures to fix. Like, why can't we grow beards? There's one. It's a little issue, right? But what's prejudice about a beard? They're painting beards on. They're using these white guys for Jesus and putting paint on beards. That's what they're going to try to do, I guess, with their Jesus show. We're looking at some of their commercials. Now, Galaxy Thinker says, is there a travel package deal where we can visit Bethel, Disneyland, and the White House all together? Just trying to be funny. Yeah, air miles. All those JWs donating air miles to the society, to the Watchtower, donate air miles. Justin will pass some out. We'll pass them out, anybody that wants. Okay, Jeannie, we're finally having a voice. Yes, we are, Jeannie Jewel. We are having a voice, and we got to use our voice. So It's so important. And that's how we manifest. We like to do a little bit of research on our channel. And I noticed you do a lot of research, Justin. You're a smart cookie. I was looking at your first video 2 years ago, and that was a very well thought out video. There was no anger, nothing in there. If you look at my first video, I was all over the place. But a lot of us are different. You're very put together in your speaking, your abilities, and I think you're a great creator. And this community is so happy to have you. Here's what we think. Here's what we think, Justin. And the other thing we're giving everyone that's going to be free. Okay, well, we're almost ready. We could probably wrap this up, eh? Now, did we want to talk a little bit about your story? We kind of got a little bit of it thrown in there all the way through, didn't we? Is there anything you would like to talk about?
Let's see.
Have you ever told your story online?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
A couple of times. I mean, I think Critical Thinkers had you on. You told it, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of layers to my story. I think the one thing I will say more than anything else for anybody out there watching, especially people that are just now waking up, because I know there's a lot of you out there who are just beginning to ask questions. You're just beginning to give yourself permission, to ask questions against this unquestionable organization. I would just say, keep asking and just remember that if something really is the truth, it shouldn't mind being questioned. You should be, if something really is the truth, it should always be able to defend itself.
Yes.
So, just keep on searching. Don't let yourself get trapped in any of these dead ends. Just keep on searching, and don't let yourself be influenced. Don't let yourself give into fear. Remember, fear is just, it's something to hold you back. And something that the Watchtower has been using as a tool, along with guilt and shame, to keep holding you back So the first thing you got to do when you're first waking up is just figure out how to release yourself from those grips.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you will be good to go, and you can really progress during your journey of healing. So, yeah.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were you born into the organization? Born in?
No, I didn't come in until I was 11. So I had a little bit of years there during my earlier childhood where I got a chance to see, regular life.
Yeah.
But even with that, even though I had that experience towards the beginning of my childhood, it still took a while to heal and to unprogram myself from this religion. Maybe I did have an easier time than others. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But either way, the stuff that they teach you and the ways that they teach you. I have a video on my channel called about the mental conditioning methods that they use to control. I mean, from the music to the repetition, everything about that religion is made to make sure that these messages get very, very deep in your head. So it's very important to go on that process of deprogramming yourself.
Now, I was going to pull in your site just to see that video, because I wouldn't mind watching that one, because we do cover that on this channel. I think we all have to cover this more. And if you've done some research on it, which video is it? How far down is it?
If it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, if you keep going down more. There it is, right there. Yeah, mental conditioning with the blue. If you go up a bit more, let's see. You just passed it.
Oh,
there you go. Mental inside. Go up a bit more.
Okay, there's what is the real truth? Why Jehovah's Witnesses do? Oh,
yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah, but yeah, there you go, right there. Your
apostates get reinstated. That one.
All the way.
Oh, the mental conditioning right here.
Yeah, there you go.
One.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
Okay.
Now, artificial intelligence.
Okay, well, we're definitely gonna watch this. I won't necessarily get into it here.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to ExJw.
But you guys can, we can all get into that one. You guys seen where that is? Mental conditioning. I think this would be a good one to watch, because we are all conditioned mentally with this religion, and the more we do research on it, they're saying that Jehovah's Witnesses they're 5 times more likely to have schizophrenia and some of these mental diseases than other people because of this indoctrination. And then, like you said, that indoctrination is so deep, there's so many layers. We're still undoing, we're running into words and things. And my wife catches it more than me because she's on the outside. She can see this stuff. I start watching their stuff and she's got to hit me sometimes. Wake up. Didn't you get that point? We don't. We get into their dogma. We have these records in our head, and it takes years to smash all those records, and you have to replace the ideas with something else. That's the work. There's a lot of work. If you want to tell the news media that, we need special clinics just for Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't realize that yet. There's a lot of craziness going on with this religion. And we got to help somehow. So anyways, that's kind of the show. Anything else, Justin, before we close out?
Hey, on those same lines that you were just talking, I would just say, stay tuned, because I have a project that is still in the works, but it should be out within the next couple of months or so. And this is a project that I'm going to be working on with people who are licensed therapists, people who are certified life coaches. And it's going to be a tool that people can use, whether you are just now waking up or whether you've been out for a while, that will help you get started on your healing journey. It's not to replace professional therapy, but the thing about professional therapy is that there's not enough professional therapists out there who are trained specifically in religious trauma, because that's a very specific thing. We have specific ways that we were hurt and ways that we need to heal. But at the very least, even if your therapist wasn't trained in that, when you use this tool, you can take this tool to them, and that will at least give them some insights into things that are going on within you, and unlock some deeper levels of healing for you. So just stay tuned. I can't talk
I
about
am
it too much
looking
right
forward
now.
to that. That
but,
sounds really exciting.
mhm.
That sounds really.
It's
That's what we
important. It's
need in
something
an
that we need.
organization.
Mhm.
I guess outside the organization, we need this.
Yeah.
So and then there are some places you can go to get help, but they might not understand exactly what an XJW is dealing with because they weren't one, right? So if you have a therapist that was one, you know, like you're a therapist in a sense. You're even though you're not qualified, you're pulling in licensed therapy. You're doing the research, and we're helping, and that's all we can do. I know when I do it online, I guess we have experience. You can't say that. You see, there's a badge of honor there with the experience that we have as XJWs coming out. All of us online, we can all take what we know and use that to help all those that are going to be coming out. Because guaranteed January, November 6th, when that secret box gets opened, and this all starts to come out, that we already know on this side of the fence, we know what the congregation doesn't know. This religion is doing a drastic change, and there's going to be a lot of people wondering. So we're here. We're ready for everyone, right, Justin? And,
yeah, sure
and MJ is online here today. He's building his channel up. We want to get him online and interview him again. And we want to get all these creators to a level that they can do the lives. I think you have to be 1,000 to do a live. So MJ's he said he a few more. If we can help out as an audience with some of these new creators, they will also get on and help with lives. I'm not sure the rules with YouTube. But anyways, I think that brings our show to a conclusion, Justin. We really thank you for being on, and we appreciate that so much. What do you guys think as the audience? Show Justin what you think. So we really appreciate you being on with us, and we hope to get you on again. We're just getting to know you. And
that'd be awesome.
Your programs, and you keep doing a good job that you are, Justin. Thanks again.
Hey, you as well. Thank you guys so much, and thank you to your audience for your time. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Bye for now. Okay, folks. Well, that pretty well wraps up our show for the evening. And unless there's some comments that my good wife throws in front, we are going to close down the show with a dance. Ugh. Got to do some new dances here. You know what I always think? If we want to manifest, manifestation is so important. Manifestation starts with a thought. So whoever made BeFree, whoever put this together, these were XJWs, maybe some that are actually in the congregation, just sitting there in the chair watching and realizing this has to stop. And they get together and they put this site together, did the permits. We want to thank BeFree, whoever it is out there. Thank you for all of your hard work, because this is going to be the greatest protest ever. And this is how we manifest. It starts with a thought. Then we take that thought and we voice it. And then things start to happen. Now, I've always thought that if someone's obstructing justice on a national, global scale to build a big business, that's pretty serious. So this is what I manifest, and this is how I do it. So this brings the show to a close. And until next time, folks, keep living your life with love. Bye for now, and we'll see you next time.